Welcome to Daily Ad Brief. I'm Christina Daves, your host of PR Champions, and we are in for a treat today. We are headed to San Francisco, California to chat with Scott Dobroski of Indeed. Welcome, Scott.
Hey, Christina, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Oh, this is exciting because everybody knows Indeed. Anyone who's looking for a job, looking to hire somebody, and from a PR and marketing perspective, how do you get to that point? Like, how do you get from established when you're starting out, you're growing to known, which Indeed is now?
Yes, I appreciate that question because it doesn't happen overnight and it doesn't happen by coincidence. Really, where we look at how we can build a reputation, and that's really what we're doing at the end of the day. CorpCom is reputation management, and this includes both promoting the business but also protecting it when things could go wrong or when there's risk. In the early days, really, we're just we're looking at business objectives and what the business wants to achieve, both short term and long term. And so we're really looking at, okay, these are the goals. This is what we want to achieve collectively together. So it's not just CorpCom sitting on an island over here and thinking, what should we do? It's really looking, who do we want to be? How do we want to show up in the world? What's our positioning? And how can we help the company grow and actually measure those results, again, both short term and long term? So at first, it feels quite daunting. And even today, sometimes it feels quite daunting when you take a deep breath, take a step back, and again, really look at what does the business want to achieve over time. Then we come together and figure out what are the right strategies that we can put together to actually contribute and make a dent into those goals. And so, early on, it's often those good old-fashioned top-level brand awareness at Indeed, at its sister company Glassdoor, at other startups. There's other considerations, of course, financial communications, always product, things like that. And then as you grow, the scope and the funnel often widens. It can often widen pretty quickly as well, perhaps international, more crises, issues, maybe government affairs comes in as an increasing role. But really, again, when you take a step back, or then it's time to reset and think about the next 3 years or 1 year, again, we have always gone to those business objectives and said, what does the business want to achieve? Where can we really plug in and add the greatest value and deliver the highest impact? And then we choose those things to do.
So to become who you are today, you obviously had to have a differentiator. What made you stand out? What made Indeed? What was that one thing that really got them to skyrocket in that space?
For Indeed, it was all about jobs. That's what it was. And in the early days at Indeed, some people may remember, at one point across the internet, jobs were over here, and jobs were over here, and jobs were over here. And what I mean by that is most often, many years ago, they were on a specific company's webpage. Some of us will remember even when jobs didn't even exist online, but that's ages ago now. But as they became online, they lived in a bunch of different places. And of course, if you're a job seeker, a big question mark and a frustration at the time, the problem was, how can I find the latest jobs? Could I even be alerted to the latest jobs? Could I even filter and search for the latest jobs based on my location, the job title to start? And those are very basic qualifications that we take for granted today, or those are kind of table stakes. Then marry in your preferences, what you want in a job, salary, work-life balance, all of those things. Anyways, this is where Indeed came into play years and years ago. It aggregated all of the jobs online in a one-stop shop for people to find the latest jobs and then apply and actually get hired. So that was their differentiator.
Oh, I love this. I could talk to you forever. We only have 1 minute left. I do want to ask you one more quick question. Because you are a global company and you head global communications, how do you decipher that? How do you get your message out? Because, different countries need to hear things differently.
Mm-hmm. We think global and act locally. So in the constraints of time, that is the quick message for it. So we really think about what are the global consistencies? where are the things the same? What do we want to achieve together? And then we act local because we know respecting local nuances, cultural differences, things like that, that is what a job seeker wants. And that's what an employer wants around the world. So there's different flavors on what we'll do globally, but then acting locally.
Oh gosh, we how lucky we were to have you today, Scott. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Christine. I really enjoyed it.
So to learn more about Indeed, head over to Daily Ad Brief. I'm Christina Daves, your host of PR Champions, and I'll see you next time.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.